Hey guys, it's Charlie here with the pre-Christmas game pod for you. Hope you guys are experiencing a really good holidays, whether if you're with your family, your friends, or going solo. I'm rocking with you. Here's a few things that I want to talk about in regards to the Lakers. So we just experienced a 3-game losing streak. And what's going to happen is there's a lot of panic what's happening. And understandably so, but here's a few topics that I wanted to talk about. First off, it's about LeBron James's injury and the thoracic part of the musculature and the spasms. So I have 5 herniated discs from training in jiu-jitsu. As long if the thoracic part of LeBron James's muscle base, then we're okay. That's one part where it's just a little bit of rest, a little bit of conditioning, and, massage therapy would be good. I think we'll be okay with LeBron James in regards to that aspect. It's the groin that I'm concerned about. Now, a lot of people have been praising LeBron for wanting to play, but here's the thing. I feel like we do need to see the bigger picture and play for June. The reason why I say that is because this is actually the season for us to actually win everything. Between Golden State, I've said this before, it's the Wild Wild West. And as far as for the tiers of how good we are observing the season, I think there's 3 top teams, and the rest are a bunch of wild cards, right? I feel like the first one is the Bucks. The Bucks have beat both the Clippers and the Lakers. Though again, this is still the regular season, so I don't want to look too much into it, but you can't avoid giving them props and praise because they are really that good. Second in command, I'm gonna be contrary for a lot of Laker fans, but I feel like the Clippers are second, and I'll tell you why. Because you know what you're gonna get with the bench, meaning the second unit, the substitution, the rotations, while we still have a lot of players on the Lakers that are still uncertain. So I rank the Lakers 3rd. Now, is there room for improvement? Absolutely. I think with the Bucks and the Clippers, barring any trades, and I don't want people getting injured, but, health is a big thing. I think the Lakers could possibly be better than the Bucks, but cruising better than the Bucks. What I mean by that is they're not going all out. They have a ton of veterans, and maybe they've figured out like, hey man, maybe we do need to load manage. It's unusual saying that term, load management, because I've never heard of that term until 2017 when Kawhi was all up in the biz of the Spurs, Toronto mishap that was happening. So for me, I feel like when it comes to LeBron James, it's time to load manage this dude. Now, to Anthony Davis, to him getting injured, I feel like he's a knick-knacky guy. I still stand with that. Like, even with the last game where they played against Denver, his rib was hurting. Then there was that awkward kind of slip and fall with the knee and then the ankle. And then everything else started hurting. I also didn't understand why Vogel kept playing him. Now, the only reason why I think Frank Vogel could have possibly kept him playing is for the sole reason I remember when Anthony Davis injured his elbow, but they kept him playing so that way he stays warm. But in this case, I personally feel Frank Vogel should have just sat his ass down, and that was it. But we shall wait and see. The other observation that I have is in regards to Kyle Kuzma. He needs to be on the second unit and be featured. Kyle Kuzma looked way comfortable, but here's the thing. Is that reason enough for Kyle Kuzma to be with the Lakers? I don't know. I personally think if there's someone else to flip for him, I'd do it. But in regards to Kyle Kuzma, for the people that want to keep him, I feel like Frank Vogel needs to feature him in the offense. Give him some room. Give him some free reign. You guys remember Jordan Farmar? Whenever it would be him, Sasha Vujacic, Luke Walton, and Lamar Odom coming off the bench. They didn't run the triangle at all. Jordan Farmar kind of had the skill set to be a Tony Parker. He was athletic. He could drive to the basket. He had a floater. He was actually pretty good. He had a decent three. Phil Jackson gave him enough room and rope to be him, which was successful, right? Now, in regards to Kyle Kuzma, you could tell he was like playing liberated basketball again. I feel like that he needs to be a featured star or the featured person you run a play for in the second unit. But what I also need to do, talk about a couple of potential signings and even trades that I wanted to talk about. The first one is Dino, my co-host, was talking about, Joel was talking about Jamal Crawford, and then Dino was talking about signing Joe Johnson. But in this case, they're unknown entities, so I'm not too sure, and they're not here to defend themselves, but I'm not too sure about signing those two because the biggest problem that we have on this bench right now is we don't know what we're going to get with Quinn Cook. We don't know what we're going to get with Troy Daniels. And to be honest with you, the only two players that's for sure we know what we're going to get is with Alex Caruso, which is, I wouldn't say playmaking, but running the point according to what Vogel wants and play some solid D. And then Dwight Howard with his rebounding and defense. I personally feel this team has a 7-man rotation. I like the starters. I like having Danny Green and KCP play together with LeBron. And then you have Anthony Davis at the 4 and JaVale McGee at the 5. I like that. That's set. Now, honestly, between the aforementioned players, I feel like Avery Bradley is decent, but I'd like him to be the third point guard. I still feel we need a scorer. And here's the proposition that I have. So you can think about signing Jamal Crawford or for Joe Johnson, and I don't want to wait for Iggy because I just don't feel he may not be available. And depending on who you listen to, obviously that's the internet. Some people would say, well, the Clippers are going to be the number one racehorse for that. The Lakers will be the number one racehorse. But that's being not very proactive. Unless if there's a deal behind the scenes, right? But what do you guys feel about this deal? And you can always put it on the comments as you're listening right now. Go ahead to the comments and let me know what you think. Because I feel a deal for Derrick Rose and Markieff Morris for DeMarcus Cousins, Quinn Cook, and Kyle Kuzma works. Here's why I like that deal. Now, is there room to groom Kyle Kuzma? And do we need to pull this off right away? No, of course not. Will Detroit want that? I don't know. They're probably happy with Derrick Rose. But here's the thing with Markieff Morris. You know him and Dwight Howard holding down the 4 and 5 positions are going to be animals when it comes to defense and rebounding. The effort is going to be there. What I like about Derrick Rose is you can couple him with Alex Caruso, and you got someone who can dribble penetrate, someone who can get their buckets, and someone who can still shoot. And it's decided that they're going to get theirs. That's what I like about that. So off the bench, you could have Derrick Rose, Alex Caruso, Markieff Morris at the 4, Dwight Howard at the 5. That sounds way more promising. Because right now, whether if it's the coaching staff's fault, whether we need to give Kyle Kuzma more room or he was injured, we still don't know what we're going to get with Kyle Kuzma. We absolutely don't know what we're going to get with Kyle Kuzma. But in this case, with Derrick Rose coming off the bench with Markieff Morris, you give up Quinn Cook, and then Troy Daniels, who I'm not a big fan of, but I want to give him room. I want to give him room to maybe shoot, but I'd probably flip him for someone else too. I don't know if I'd cut him, but I'd flip him. With room for that too, when you give up DeMarcus Cousins, Quinn Cook, and Kyle Kuzma, you're opening up a slot to eventually sign Iggy. And imagine if you have Derrick Rose, Alex Caruso, Iggy at the 3, Markieff Morris at the 4, Dwight Howard at the 5. I like that. But obviously, it's not the end-all, be-all, and I just want to create NBA Laker chatter with you. So please, I'll give you a moment. Get on that link on the Lakers Nation Philippines podcast and give me your thoughts. I'd love to hear it. I'm open-minded. I'm just trying to rouse conversation here. To the bench, I like what Dudley has. He's decent, but he's the kind of guy that's like Quinn Cook, right? Quinn Cook played for the Warriors, and all throughout his career, he wouldn't play for 3-4 games, and then he'd give good minutes after the 4th or 5th game. That's Dudley. I wouldn't expect him to be in a regular rotation. He does well. He'll score 6 points, have a decent field goal percentage, put in effort. He'll throw down for a teammate. But I still feel instead of defense, it's scoring that we need. It's easy to say someone like a Lou Will, right? I don't know if I buy the Bogan Bogdanovic swap for Kyle Kuzma, but he'd definitely be a great addition. So for me, in regards to the Christmas game, going back to where the state of the Lakers are at right now, I feel like it's not room to worry yet. Because when we lose 3-4 in a row, you know what's happening? It's a health issue. It's not a chemistry issue. So health is the bigger issue. It's not the 3 games in a row. Even if we lose to the Clippers, I'm not going to be too mad at it. The reason why I want them to win against the Clippers, not because it's the Clippers, unlike the pressure of the first 20 games when we played, the only reason why I want them to win against the Clippers is I don't want them to go on a 4-game skid. But it's a bad stretch. I'm really happy now that we stacked wins early, but it's time to load manage and play for June. And the last thing I wanted to touch on is when people were panicking, look, the Clippers also lost the same time when we lost to the Denver Nuggets. They lost to the Rockets. The Rockets, they're so-so at best. So there's no time to panic. It's still December, guys. The only thing you have to worry about is to manage the minutes with LeBron and AD. That's it. And I hope it gets to be done ASAP. This is the year where we can win a ring. And I don't think this roster is going to be the same come trade deadline. So a few things I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What do you guys think about the Kyle Kuzma rumor swap for Bogdanovic from the Sacramento Kings? What do you think about Jarrell and Dino's ideas of either signing either Jamal Crawford or Joe Johnson? Or what about this thing I'm tinkering with, which by the way, I have to give credit. I listened to so many Lakers-based podcasts. I don't know who did it, but it wasn't my original idea. Let me say that up front. Let me stay in my lane. But I do like the sense of Derrick Rose and Markieff Morris for Kuzma, Quinn Cook, and DeMarcus Cousins. I think that's still a good deal. Again, and if Iggy gets bought out, imagine that lineup of Derrick Rose, Alex Caruso, Iggy, Markieff Morris, and Dwight Howard. I think we're doing good. I think we'll be great at that point. So anyways, I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Don't put all your eggs into this Lakers versus Clippers basket. Everyone's injured. This is actually a nightmare lineup of games for Adam Silver because everyone's injured at this point. Signing off, it's Charlie for the Lakers Nation Philippines pod.